It was supposed to be a moment of remembrance and unity, a farewell to one of South Africa's most well-known political figures. But instead, the funeral of Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa became the center of new suspicions, strange whispers, and unanswered questions that have left the country wondering what really happened in the days before his death. What began as a story of tragedy has turned into a full-blown mystery. Mthethwa, a man once celebrated for his influence in politics and diplomacy, died suddenly under circumstances that many now believe were far from ordinary. And during his funeral, something unexpected happened, something that might just hold the key to uncovering who was responsible for his final moments. For those who knew him, Nathi Mthethwa was more than just a politician. He was once one of the most powerful men within the African National Congress, a figure who moved easily between political circles and international diplomacy. Over the years, he had served in several high-ranking positions, including Minister of Arts and Culture and more recently as South Africa's ambassador abroad. But behind the char and official titles, there was also controversy. His name had surfaced in past reports connected to state capture, misuse of funds, and political favoritism, though none of those allegations ever led to criminal charges. Still, for some, Mthethwa symbolized the old guard of the ANC, a generation of leaders who had become too comfortable in power. When news broke of his sudden death, it was met with shocking confusion. According to the initial reports, he was found unresponsive in his hotel room while on an official visit. Authorities said there were no signs of foul play at first, describing it as a medical emergency. But within days, questions began to rise. Leaked information hinted that CCTV footage from the hotel might have shown unusual activity in the hallway outside his room on the night he died. Some sources suggested that certain individuals had visited his floor shortly before his passing, and those same people were allegedly connected to ongoing political disputes back home. By the time of his funeral, speculation was running wild. What was originally meant to be a respectful farewell had turned into a tense event filled with guarded faces and uneasy silence. Family members appeared emotional but composed, while several political figures in attendance looked visibly uncomfortable. The ceremony took place under heavy security, with journalists and investigators quietly observing from a distance. Yet it was what happened during the eulogies that stunned those present. A close friend of Mthethwa, speaking passionately at the podium, made a cryptic statement. He knew something was coming. He told me days before that he was being followed. Nathi was scared. The audience froze. The atmosphere shifted instantly. What was meant to be a moment of tribute suddenly felt like a warning from beyond the grave. After that statement, murmurs spread quickly. Some attendees were seen making phone calls, others whispering to one another. The speech went viral online within hours, igniting a storm of debate. Had Mthethwa been assassinated? Was this part of a deeper political plot? And most importantly, who stood to benefit from his silence? Many pointed out that just weeks before his death, Mthethwa had reportedly been in contact with investigators working on corruption cases involving government officials and business figures. He had allegedly offered to set the record straight about certain transactions made during his time in office. If true, that could have made him a target. In the days following the funeral, law enforcement confirmed that new evidence had been received, including the CCTV footage from the hotel. What was found on that footage has not been made public. But sources close to the investigation claim it shows movements that contradict the initial story that Mthethwa was alone that night. Some reports claim that a mystery guest entered his room just hours before his death, a person who has not yet been identified. Investigators have since expanded their inquiry, and a toxicology report is said to be pending. While the official statement from the embassy maintains that his death was natural and unexpected, the growing evidence suggests there may be much more to uncover. This entire situation has reopened old wounds about South Africa's political climate and the dangers faced by insiders who know too much. The ANC, still reeling from ongoing corruption scandals and internal divisions, now faces the added pressure explaining how one of its senior diplomats died under mysterious circumstances while representing the nation abroad. Opposition parties have called for transparency, demanding that the results of the investigation be made public. Meanwhile, citizens on social media have voiced frustration, saying that too many political deaths in South Africa remain unexplained. theories continue to swirl. Some believe Mthethwa's death could be linked to power struggles within the ANC, a warning to others who might expose corruption or betray party loyalties. Others argue that it was a coincidence, that his passing was purely medical, and that conspiracy theories are being fueled by mistrust in government. Yet, the timing of the cryptic statement at the funeral has made it impossible for many to accept the official version at face value. The public wants answers, and every new detail adds more confusion instead of clarity. Adding to the mystery, journalists who have tried to investigate further have reportedly faced resistance. Hotel staff members who were on duty that night have gone silent, and the authorities have been reluctant to release key information. Even the family has made only limited statements, asking for privacy, but also hinting that they too are waiting for the truth to come out. Behind the scenes, it seems a tug-of-war is unfolding between those who want full disclosure and those who would prefer the matter quietly fade away. What makes Mthethwa's story even more haunting is how closely it mirrors other political deaths in recent years, sudden, unexplained, and surrounded by secrecy. Each case chips away at the public's trust in the institutions meant to protect them. If foul play is eventually confirmed, it would not only expose the fragility of South Africa's diplomatic system, but also send shockwaves through the political elite. It would suggest that no one, not even a seasoned ambassador, is safe when power and truth collide. For now, the nation waits. Investigations continue, rumors multiply, and the line between truth and fiction grows thinner by the day. The funeral, which should have brought closure, has instead opened a new chapter, one filled with uncertainty and fear. Those closest to Mthethwa insist that he was planning something important before he died, perhaps a revelation or confession that would have changed how people saw him. If that's true, then his death may not have been an accident at all, but the silencing of a man who knew too much. Whether the truth ever emerges depends on the courage of investigators, the persistence of journalists, and the public's refusal to let the story fade away. One thing is certain. The mystery surrounding Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa's death has become bigger than one man. It has become a test of whether South Africa can still hold its leaders accountable, even in death. The questions raised at that funeral may haunt the nation for months, or even years, to come. If you watched this far, it's clear you want to know what really happened to Nathi Mthethwa. Do you believe his death was natural, or do you think he was silenced for what he knew? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Your perspective might shed light on this growing mystery. Don't forget to like this video if you believe the truth deserves to be uncovered, and subscribe for more in-depth investigations into South Africa's most talked-about stories. Stay alert, stay informed, and never stop asking questions, because sometimes the truth hides in plain sight.